Your first comic, Don Betts.
Yeah, he's got to lower this way down for me. Thank you. You know, I'm still trying to figure out how I got here tonight. The last thing I remember is my therapist asking me if I wanted to do this comedy show, and I'm like, yeah, right. Who better than an anxious, depressed person who hates large crowds? Sign me up! I think our next session is going to be about sarcasm. Oh well, while I'm here tonight, I might as well tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Dawn, and no, I am not a morning person. In fact, I think a lot of my issues stem from the fact that I'm a walking oxymoron. My middle name is Louise, which means mighty warrior. I cry in altercations. My last name is Betts. I don't gamble. I can't carry a tune, but one of my greatest skills I have is I know all the words to the top 40 songs from the 60s to today. But seeing as I'm the first act this evening, this fat lady ain't gonna sing. I have an older sister and a younger brother. It was hard being a middle child. Over the past year, I've sent 5 different letters off to the American Psychiatric Association asking them to include middle child syndrome in the next DSM. They were all returned unopened. One even had a giant footprint on it. As a child, I was never taught proper social skills, so I had to learn everything from TV. Unfortunately, the only channel we got was Animal Planet. Not only do I have 5 cats, a bird, and a hamster in my house, I've only recently learned that it's not okay to go up and hump total strangers. This may explain why I'm still single. Growing up, my dad was a cop, and I think... Hello? Okay, my voice went out. I think it kind of worked me a little. One day he came home from supper covered in blood from a car accident he just investigated. Instead of being horrified, I just like, Mom, cook my steak rare tonight. I loved hearing stories about the latest dumb criminals. My favorites are the man who passed out after trying to climb an electric fence, the 280-pound man who tried to get away on an 8-year-old girl's bicycle, and the man he found crying and begging for help after he broke into a house and he was cornered by the homeowner's 2 chihuahuas. It wasn't always cool, though. It was impossible to get away from a lie. Most parents talk to their kids. Mine would get out a very bright light like this and interrogate us. And if that didn't work, he'd have us followed 24 hours a day and recruit our friends as informants. It wasn't until I became a mom that I understood the strength of a parent's love for their child. I love being a mom. I would do anything to save my daughter, unless there's a spider involved. You see, I am deathly afraid of spiders, and this became apparent one day, how afraid I am when a spider landed on my daughter, and I backed away from her as she's screaming and crying. And I'm thinking, I've heard of moms lifting cars off their kids. But kid, if there's a spider on that car, you're on your own. I felt so guilty about this. I talked to a friend about it, and she said, most irrational fears stem from how we died in a previous life. I spent the next 2 weeks thinking of all the ways a spider can kill you. I can understand dying from a poisonous bite, but it gets a little much when they shoot your head off with a .38 special. When I first started this journey towards recovery, I was in and out of the hospital a lot. In fact, I was labeled a frequent flyer. In my defense, I couldn't afford a vacation. Even the ones on traveldeal.com were too expensive. So every time I needed a break, I'd show up and Emerge. I got a room, meals, social rec, maid service, and drugs. The only problem was OHIP is too cheap to pay for the really good ones. One hospital was not so luxurious though. It was like being in jail. I even made a shiv in rec therapy. I mainly stayed in my room and kept to myself and dreaded the next visit from the psychiatrist. That little green leprechaun that sat on her shoulder scared the hell out of me. Fortunately, it was scared off by a magic potion called Prozac. And if that didn't work, I'd just get out my shiv. I once ended up in the hospital after I overdosed. I just didn't know my limit when it came to Smarties. Contrary to their name, they don't make you smarter, especially when washed down with vodka. Another time, I showed up at Emerge because everybody was laughing and pointing at me all day. It would have turned out a lot easier if somebody had just pointed out that gaping hole in my pants. And if I had underwear on that day. For those of you who are unfortunate enough to visualize that, we have a trauma team waiting on the way out. Because I have 5 cats, I'm known as the crazy cat lady in my neighborhood. I'm not sure how they found out I was crazy, but I think that damn leprechaun had something to do with it. Cats are great though. They're calming. It's relaxing to pet them. They're great listeners and they never judge you. But when they start apologizing for the hairballs, I know it's time to go get help. I've been to a lot of therapy groups, and I must say the most useful skill I've learned is opposite to emotion. So, when my emotions are telling me to have some ice cream, I say no. And I'll go have a couple hot dogs instead. And when I don't feel like taking my daily walk, I get up and go. Sure, it's to the corner store to buy chips, but I take the long way. I have severe ADD, and I was talking to a friend the other day, and they said I have ADHD, and I'm like, oh, you're so lucky. If I had the H, I wouldn't have to go to the gym to lose weight. And with all the money I saved, I could buy a lifetime supply of bacon. I used to be very judgmental about myself. I didn't realize how much I used the word should until one day my therapist is like, oh my God, stop shooting on yourself. I like the phrase so much that I use it almost every day. Whenever I see somebody or hear somebody using the word should in a judgmental way, I yell, stop shooting on yourself. I haven't figured out why I get dirty looks. As part of my depression, I sometimes get really lonely. I actually look forward to telemarketers calling me. You know, you've talked way too much when they offer to hang up on you. Let's put it this way, I'm on the do not call list in 25 countries. What? No, I have like 20 more cue cards. Really? Oh, the damn leprechaun's telling me my time's up. So, I gotta talk to myself. If anybody wants to hear more about me, I'll be available after the show, and priority would be given to those who are single.